Hey, folks, and welcome to the OnePride podcast. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. In today's show, we're just going to talk about minicamp with a little bit more of minicamp. We'll do some QA, and if something happens while we're recording, we obviously will talk all about it. Why is that? Because that is what we do. Everybody, appreciate you hanging out here on this Thursday, 1 p.m., For today, I will be live on 96.1 FM. Huge show, ESPN, at 3:20, I think, to nearly 6 o'clock. So if you guys want to hear more Detroit Lions, I'll be on ESPN here at 3:20 or 3:30. So something around that time, 96.1 FM. And again, if you're not in the West Michigan area or the Michigan area, you can just go ahead and search it in there, the huge show, and that would pop up, and then you can watch it there without not being in the area. So James Janella in the building, Dennis Tidick in the building, 9 Drink, what's up, brother? Dragon fan Tim, Al Johnson, Mike Taft, James Copeland, A Lone Wolf 21, Scotty Kiss 43, what up, Doe? Everybody, appreciate you coming in here. Are you guys excited what's taking place at minicamp? Are you excited that there's actual practice going on? I am, because we get a lot closer to training camp, thus the regular season. So we're going to go through some of the observations and my thoughts on what is taking place. First off, we're having a jump right now, and I think that's really good, of a certain player in Levi Onwuzurike, where we're hearing a lot of good stuff about him and the way right now he's operating and he's playing at a high level. He says that the fusion that he had, the spine surgery, he's past it. And now look, maybe he really is, because, man, he's doing good. He's doing good. And now I had a spine fusion. It really, it took the pain away from me, but it made me, you can only do so much now when you have a fusion, right? It limits you. So Levi's looking good. Now, this is interesting because it is a contract year for Levi Onwuzurike, and he's showing so far so good at OTAs and minicamp. If he keeps this up in training camp, we got something to watch here in 2024, because remember, we picked up Levi Onwuzurike, second-round pick, in the first draft of Brad Holmes, to be a piece and the anchor on the defensive line. It wasn't Aleem McNeil. He was the third-round pick. Levi was the second, and ended up being that Aleem McNeil's been the one showing out, and Levi Onwuzurike is the one we've been waiting for. But he has said he feels the best he's ever felt. He said at the end of the year, last year, the pain really started to go away, and now he can focus on his game. That's awesome. That is great. If this continues, then he should make the team for sure, right? Like, if he is on a good trajectory and he shows consecutive practices, when he gets into training camp where it's every day and it's the same result, then could he turn the corner? If he did the old Ifutu Melifonwu and that type of transformation from a Derek Barnes, where you make that big old transformation from to really good, that'd be great for the Lions' defensive line, right? Because we expect DJ Reed or Aleem McNeil to do really good. You have Levi Onwuzurike comes in here, and he could really be a part of that rotation. Broderick Martin, oh, man, you could have a lot of rest throughout the game this year, where you're having fresh bodies in and that big old body on the interior of the defensive line. So that's what we were waiting for. This is what we hope. Now, again, this is just practice. But in all honesty, when it comes to Levi Onwuzurike, we know when the lights are on, that's not the problem. It was just his injury. That's been the problem for Levi. So if he is past this injury, that could be really good news for the Lions. Really good news. So shout out to Levi Onwuzurike, himself, and his ability to rehab from such a ridiculous surgery and a fusion. And he's actually looking good and building upon it. Amazing. His willpower is got to be beyond comprehension, because I had the fusion and it beat you down physically and mentally. This guy has done an amazing job. Levi Onwuzurike, right to me, gigantic win for him. Just gigantic. Just gigantic. Jared Goff, he had good and bad, and I'm excited for the bad. Because I don't think we should take it's a punch at Jared Goff. Or a punch, well, maybe a little bit of Hendon Hooker is a little bit of form right now. But Jared Goff got picked off 4 times. Khalil Dorsey got him. Some other players got him that's been stepping up. This is good for the Detroit line. We know what our offense can do, okay? We know our offense is good, right? We know this offense can put up points. We know when the lights are on, Jared Goff is pretty conservative, not throwing interceptions. He's very steady. The defense, though, we're starting to see them pick up in the secondary, picking Goff off, being feisty. Carlton Davis, he's been feisty. Terry Arnold feisty all minicamp and OTAs. This is what we have not had with Jared Goff yet. Goff has never really won against a good secondary. So, again, iron sharpens iron. If you want Goff to get better, you want the secondary to get better, it's a cohesion. And right now, the secondary is getting its part done, and I love it. I love it. Brandon Joseph, we got safety right here. Year 2 safety, stepping up in a big way, getting interceptions. Another player that we didn't really think about is stepping up. Good. Amik Robertson, where I've read nothing but him being feisty. The coverage has been pretty sticky. Now, we're going to get into St. Brown. When he's getting the ball, it's dominance. Goff to St. Brown, absolute dominance. But guess what, folks? It was dominance against every team those two went against last year. That is expected. That's what they do. That's why St. Brown almost had, almost 16 or 1,700 receiving yards. It was a ridiculous amount. Jerry Goff, 4,500. Seen a lot of good coverage. And I tell you what, that is really softening to my heart. This is what I've been wanting to see. Now, there is bad that I'm not wanting to see. That's Hendon Hooker right now. He had a better practice, but he's going to be going through these growing pains. You know, he's got to get rid of the football quicker. He's holding on to the football. That's not positive. He's got to get in his mind, get rid of the football. And that's what a lot of people have been saying. Jared Goff's the starter. I love Hendon Hooker, but he's not ready for that role right now. Jared Goff knows how to get rid of the football. Veterans are generally pretty good with that. It takes a little bit of time for these younger quarterbacks sometimes, just like Justin Fields. For whatever reason, he just held on to the football, knowing it's holding on to it longer. That's just what they do. So we need Hendon Hooker to get through these struggles, and guess what? He's got all training camp to do it. This is like his rookie year. He never had the practice. He's never had the mini camp and the OTAs. This will be his first training camp where he's really doing anything, so they can get on the same page, and Hendon Hooker can get better there. Nate Sudfeld, he's looking decent. I don't really want to get into him because he's not the long-term solution here. The kickers, though, Turner, looking pretty good. He knocked all his in. Michael Badgley now 2 practices in a row where he's missed a couple. The kicking position is fighting on. It's a battle that is nonstop right now, and we don't know who's going to win it. Could it be Turner? Could it be Badgley? This one right now, I give the edge to Badgley just because he's a veteran, but they both missed some. They've both made some, and the fight continues on. Really excited to talk to you about this one player in particular who the Detroit Lions drafted last year that I think now, after hearing and what I'm reading, is going to be a hidden gem. Now, what I mean by hidden gem, it doesn't mean this guy is going to be on the field all the time. Okay, making crazy amount of plays, and that's not what I'm saying. I think he'll have, in games, he'll have situational snaps, not that many, but I think it's important to understand what he does with those snaps, though. So when I look at Sion Vaki, I look at the running back that the Lions draft and what he's doing right now in minicamp and OTAs, is very reminiscent of what I seen when we got a running back before here, seen him in camp, and I was watching his plays, and when I was hearing about him, it's Theo Riddick. Sion Vaki has got really soft hands, good out of the backfield as a pass-catching running back, almost like a wide receiver. That's what Theo Riddick was really good at when he was here. Again, it was limited time that he was on the field, right? We didn't know what to do with him, but in passing downs, we knew that he catches everything, and what we're hearing from Sion Vaki is exactly this. He is catching everything. He's got soft hands. He's making good cuts. I got to tell you this. There could be some games where they have a little bit of packages for Vaki out there that I don't think defensive coordinators would even have an idea about, because he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not David Montgomery. He's not all the big names. And if you put it on there in a couple snaps as a pass-catching running back, big plays can occur. We've seen that multiple times, right down the middle, right in the seam, boom, get 15-yard chunk play. They do that with Jahmyr Gibbs. They like to do that even with St. Brown and give him those right down the middle. And so I would like to see that this season, and from what I'm hearing from Sion Vaki, that's kind of what am I expecting at this point from him. So that is a hidden gem, and if you ask me, you're going to get something who's really generally special teams, right? But he actually brings multiple dimensions, so now you can use him for situational purposes, maybe to throw a defensive coordinator off. I think that would be epic. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on this one. Again, hit that like button. It does help out. Also, I'll be on 96.1 FM. The Huge Show today, ESPN Radio, from I think 3:20, 3:30 to nearly 6 o'clock. So for almost the whole time, check it out. I guarantee you I'm talking OTAs and minicamp. That's what I'm going to be asking. We're going to be talking about that. So if you want to hear extra, make sure you do that. Dragon fan Tim, thank you so much. It's right there. 96.1 FM The Game, iHeartRadio for ESPN. So check that out. Let's get into Jameson Williams. And what's up, Raw Podcast? Man, what's up, TA? I got to hit you up on the Vox. Been really busy between yesterday and today. I will for sure, though, today. Pretty excited. I got a little, it's going to slow down a little bit. So, Jameson Williams is now casting the big pass. We've seen Jared Goff now bomb it to Jameson Williams here in OTAs and now in minicamp multiple times. You're going to see Jameson Williams. He's going to be taking the next step forward this year. The bombs are now frequent in OTAs and it's been frequent in minicamp. Ben Johnson's pushing the ball downfield to Jameson Williams. A lot of people want to see that, myself included. They want to see it more. Now, personally, I don't care as long as we're getting the same yards. I'm fine with it. But if you're one of those individuals that wants the big bomb play and the deep threat because Jameson Williams' speed, they're doing that in minicamp. They're doing a lot more in this than we've seen in recent past. So that's a good thing we're watching there. So part of this offense, you're going to see deep pass. You're going to still see the St. Brown. You're still going to see the Jahmyr Gibbs. And that's what's taking place right now. When it comes to the wide receiver battle, a couple names are starting to come up that I am very excited to see come up. This is why I said maybe we shouldn't bring in a guy before. I want to see what they have in their own guys, and that's Antoine Green, a 7th-round pick last year, wide receiver, stepping up for Jared Goff, getting a couple touchdowns, and Hendon Hooker. This is what we wanted to see. Who's going to come up, not as just that number 3, but who's going to come up as that number 6, that final wide receiver spot? And to me right now, Antoine Green is ahead of it. When it comes to number 3, Khalif and Donovan Peoples-Jones are the thick of it. I think Khalif's got a tiny bit of an edge, but they're both battling out. But Antoine Green, to finish it out, is making plays in minicamp. That's good to see. And if you look at his body type, he's more of that slender, and not too tall, not short, the 6'1"-ish, 6'2" type of guy. So the tweener, I think that is great development for the Lions. We just got to see if this continues in training camp because, again, some players I don't have to worry about when it comes to the lights on, right? But Antoine Green, right now, he did good in preseason. Again, we have to see it when the lights are on, continue to do that. Because some of these players, they're great in practice, and then when it's game time, it's the opposite. But when you hit both, it is absolutely great. Absolutely great. Cam Sutton signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe in second chances. Hey, Lisa. Again, I wasn't a part of this situation. I don't know what happened with him. But whatever actually went down, I do believe in second chances. I'm sure that he's going to have to make up for his mistakes, and he's got to do his thing. But he's not a Detroit Lion anymore, so I'll just go ahead and do about that. That's what I get in here for sure. Detroit multiple plans of fullback, including Aleem McNeil. Yes. Do you like fullback? Well, I don't like the fullback position, but I do like the idea, if you have big bodies, to use players of that position, but not keeping a roster spot specifically for a player like a Jason Kimber. So what are they doing? Aleem McNeil has been playing some fullback. You heard that right. Aleem the Dream, Twinkle Toes, McNeil is doing that. So maybe in the up-and-coming year, maybe it's a 4th and 1, we're going to see Aleem McNeil take the ball to get that extra hard yard. I would like that. I remember watching The Bus and what he was doing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm not saying at all Aleem McNeil's The Bus. Not at all. I'm saying I like the idea of getting a bigger player, a gigantic player, like someone the size of 300 pounds, like an Aleem McNeil. Give them the ball on these short yards because they're so big and strong. The odds are that they'll get it. So I always like the idea of doing that, and so I think it's really cool that Aleem McNeil is going to get some shots at that. Not saying it's going to happen a lot during games, I highly doubt it does, but again, it gives them another little twinkle on a play. Maybe they do one play every couple of games or something like that, and it kind of throws teams off. That's what I like to see, a little bit of creativity from the offense of Ben Johnson. And that's very notable, if you ask me. Jack Campbell has been standing out in minicamp as well. So he's the other standout for the Detroit Lions. Looks like he's going to be taking that next step. And look, we loved the draft last year. The 3 guys we always talk about, we talk about 24/7. But Jack Campbell was a part of that. He was the 4th guy, and it now looks like he's kind of taken that next step right now where he is finally starting to, the game may be slowing down for him a little bit, and now he can react instead of think. And that's a great news for the Lions, right? We need him to continue to make that next step. We all knew he was going to do it. That's why nobody was upset. But it looks like he's starting to turn that corner right now, where his game will get a little bit easier and easier for that. A couple players on the defensive line standing out. We talked about Levi and Uzurike. Joshua Pascal had a good minicamp. He had some good pressures as well. Joshua Pascal, who we drafted in the 2nd draft of Brad Holmes. That's another player we're looking, can he take that next step? This is a big pivotal year for him. For Joshua Pascal, Levi and Uzurike, it's pivotal years for these 2 players. Levi looks like he's trying to take advantage of it. Joshua Pascal probably feels like he needs to. And so that's good, but we just need to see what they can do. We don't really know yet, so that is a pain in the butt. There was an injury to one of our corners, Khalil Dorsey, and it looked like it was pretty severe. I haven't heard anything on it unless it came out while I'm talking to you or right before, but it looks like, from what it sounded like, it's pretty bad. But again, he was a guy, I don't even know if he was going to make the roster. If so, it would have been on special teams. We got a ton of depth at the cornerback position, so not too concerned on that injuries. Other than that, there's definitely veterans that are not practicing. A lot of veterans that are starters. They got any sort of nicked up. This is OTAs. This is minicamp. They're not going to press it. Other than that, there's no serious injury. Emmanuel Mosley, guess what? The only reason he wasn't as practiced is because he had a baby born. Okay, it's not to do with injury. So Lions are really good on the injury front. Just keep going that way, except for the Khalil Dorsey. There's going to be some bumps and bruises. that's nothing. That's part of minicamp. This is part of how this bad boy works. Now, I've been talking to you for a while, and now it's time for you to talk to me. And let's do the mailbag segment. So if you got any questions, throw it in the comment section. This is the time for you. All right, folks, welcome to the mailbag segment here. We're going to take questions for you guys. Whatever you want answered, throw it in the comment section. That is what we're doing on today's video. Before we get into this video, smash that like button. Real easy to do. All you got to do is smash it and say, smash, L-I-K-E, smash it, and it definitely pushes the video out there. I understand this is the lull period for the NFL. Bear with us as we're trying to give you the information. Let's get this thing started right about now. Let's go. We're here for the mailbag segment, taking questions from you guys. We will do any question. You throw it up there with the hashtag, with the whatever. We're definitely going to get your question answered here. And my guy from Raw Podcast, and really, I got to fix this thing really quick here and get this one to the big old comment here. And we're going to get this thing started. So first question that is taking place right about where we're going to have to basically restart that. That really absolutely sucks because I got to get this thing up and it's not coming up. All right. Got it up. Yay. Now let me get to the thing down here really quick and we're going to get into your questions once I can find them, which I'm having a hard time finding. Oh my goodness. This stuff is hard. Let's get this. Okay. Let's start this bad boy right over right now. I got to start. Got to do it all again here. Oh my God, because all my stuff is screwing up and it won't work. There we go. All right, folks, we're doing the mailbag segment. If you got questions, throw it in the comment section right now. That's what it's all about. We're talking Detroit Lions news and rumors. We're also doing the questions and Q&A mailbag segment. So that's what this is about. Throw it in the comment section. We're going to get after it. Again, smash that like button. If you could do so, it definitely will help out. Smashing the like button gets it done. First question of the day here, mailbag. What have you heard about Donovan Peoples-Jones by J.C. Jones-Warner? First off, thank you for the question. Donovan Peoples-Jones and Khalif Raymond are battling it out right now. They're both doing really well. Donovan Peoples-Jones caught a couple passes. Same with Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond's got a couple touchdowns. Donovan Peoples-Jones looking all right now in minicamp, and it is a battle right now for wide receiver 3. So we don't know who is going to win it right now, but since that Khalif Raymond's got, I would say, a couple more touchdowns or the way he's being utilized, I say right now he has the head, but Donovan Peoples-Jones is fighting, and he's not doing poor in minicamp right now. Just fighting. Second here, my mom just passed away. Prayers for Patricia, please. I am so sorry, Scotticus 43, for your mother passing away. Rest in peace, and God bless you. Very much so. Let's get into here, and sorry about that. Mailbag, what have you heard about Donovan Peoples-Jones? That's exactly what you've been hearing about Donovan Peoples-Jones, just the competition right now and them fighting. Davenport. Is Davenport participating in OTAs? Well, we're in minicamp right now. He was in OTAs. But the problem is there's not a lot you can do on the defensive line until they're in pads. You can get a little bit more. You can really gape the speed. That's about it. That's what we're seeing from Levi and Uzurike, like the bat and the ball's down. But we can't really tell until it's training camp. That's the hardest part. Next question here. And first in the comment section, do you think that Davenport is the solution to opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? Why for yes and for no? Blow up the comment section. With the injury to Dorsey, do you think that we could possibly add another body for depth for half Diggs or Simmons? Look, we absolutely could if they wanted to do that. We don't know the severity right now of Khalil Dorsey at this moment while I'm speaking to you, but it definitely looks like it could be something that's going to last a while. Lions got $40 million in cap space. They have the ability to do that if they would like to. Now, Brandon Joseph from the safety position, the second-year player, is really standing out. So if they're wanting to add a player, maybe they don't, because Brandon Joseph right now has done a phenomenal job, and he's standing out. So, but if they want to add a player, they absolutely can. They got the finances to do it, and they would have to fill up the roster spot and put him on an IR or whatever type of injury list, depending on what happened to him, because we don't know the severity of it. Congratulations to the kid. Did Zealand have graduation already? Yes, we did. Congratulations to all the graduates, including my daughter, graduated high school. Extremely proud of her. Very much so. And I'm also proud of my other daughter, Riley, who finished school as well. So shout out to her. Proud of 3 other kids in Jackson, Lana, and of course Gabby, for almost finishing school. Tomorrow is their last day. Shout out to them. Celebrate all your kids graduating high school or finishing the season. Spend time with your family this weekend. Those kids deserve it with all the hard work that they did. Next question here. How is Hendon Hooker looking in minicamp so far? Split, TA. He is doing split. He's making some bad decisions, then he's making some good decisions. From what I'm hearing right now, his biggest problem is holding onto the football too long. That is the problem. He needs to throw the football quicker. He's not, I don't think he's reading the defense fast enough, and he needs to slow down a little bit. Sometimes understand the quarterback position, it's going to take a little bit of time. But right now, he's holding on to football too long. He's been a little bit inaccurate, and he's gotten better over the past couple of days. And he shows why he's got a big cannon of an arm. He definitely has got a cannon. And he does have the soft pass, too. So he's good with that. But he's got to get rid of the football quicker. But guess what, folks? That's the development of him. See, you've seen quarterbacks in past, they get drafted, right? And immediately they're forced to start or whatever. And a lot of these quarterbacks are having these issues when they're young, holding on to the ball too long, trying to understand a defense at a rookie quarterback as a starter against people who've done it their whole life is quite difficult. So we get to be able to sit Hendon Hooker, and he doesn't have to be thrown into that. So we can work on the development there compared to other quarterbacks where they're thrown into the fire, and it's throw in the fire and get it done. And that's quite difficult to do. Definitely is. Good afternoon, Jonathan Anton. If you got questions, throw it in the comment section. That is what it's all about. It's all about you. Let us know in the comments below. Get those questions going. That is what it's all about, and it is dead right now. That is for sure. So what we're also seeing in minicamp here is the offensive line has done a pretty good job considering the circumstances. They're resting all these guys. We haven't heard any updates really on the backups, though, like Sorsdale, Manu. Haven't heard a whole lot of those names yet talked about. Again, a lot of this stuff is going to have to be towards training camp. They're being extremely cautious, and this is like walkthroughs, absolute walkthroughs. So don't take a lot from it. Take some from it, but not everything from OTAs in minicamp. So question for you. Are you concerned about minicamp right now with quarterbacks Jared Goff or Hendon Hooker? If you are, put it in the comment section Y for yes. If not, do it N for no. Continue on with the mailbag segment here. And man, oh man. Wingo. Have heard no update on Wingo on the defensive line. 0 on him right now. 0. Zip and zilch. Again, we don't know a whole lot with the defensive line because they're not wearing the pads. And that's why. Do we know the extent of Gibbs' soft tissue injury? Nope. But I have 0 worries about it at all. This is the beginning of June. If he has got some bruise or some soft tissue issue, if this was getting practice ready for a game, he would be playing. This is minicamp. anybody that has any sort of issue is not going to be doing anything. So the extent of it, I'm going to suggest I have my worries about it is about a 0.001% chance. Okay, so I have zero worries about it. If there was a significant issue there or lingering, it would have come out already. And it's not. I am not worried about it at all. The latest when it comes to the injury update from what I got from a Jahmyr Gibbs was just not practicing. That's it. And a soft tissue injury, not something that's carried over from last year. So it's just something that happened this year. They're not worried about it. If Hendon Hooker doesn't look good in preseason, should we go after another veteran quarterback or stick with Suckfield? No, we stick with Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker's got to develop. This is like his rookie year, folks. He is a young quarterback. He's got to develop. You just keep developing. He's got all of training camp. Remember, he is the backup. So it's not like the odds of Jared Goff going down in the first snap of the first game are extremely low. First off, Jared Goff is a reliable quarterback. He deals with injuries a lot. He's smart. He doesn't take hits. Hooker's developing right now. By the time for him to get rid of some of these issues, they should be, I would think a lot of the kinks would be even worked out by the end of preseason. I am not worried about it. He is the future. He has the higher ceiling. He is the ultimate better player. I'm not picking anybody else up. I'm going to just keep Hendon Hooker the way it is. Let him to develop. Good to go. Really, that's it. If we had an injury to Hendon Hooker or something happen where you're going to lose some time, maybe you can pick up a backup quarterback, but I'm not going to do that right now. Question here. What position do you see Rakestraw playing? We have a logjam in the middle of the field with our cornerbacks. He right now is competing for the nickel quarterback spot against Amik Robertson. So I think that's where he's going to at least compete for this year and learn this year. I'm sure he's going to learn some other parts in the defense, maybe outside as well. But I'm going to assume they're slowly going to, put him at one position right now just to kind of learn it. Because, look, corner is a difficult position. So I'm going to go ahead and say he'll be probably doing the nickel. And that's just something that they will work on. And once he learns a little bit better, he'll continue to go on. 2.6 cap lead take hit from the Cam Sutton and $6.8 million next year. That is correct, only 6.8. And we're sitting at, I think it was $69 million in cap space right now for 2025. So that 6.8 does absolutely nothing to us. It's not going to affect us at all. How much do you see Broderick playing this year? Hard question, 9 drinks. Really difficult question. I'm going to say he's going to have some snaps in games. Not a lot, though. He had basically none last year, so maybe 10 snaps a game. He's still developing, and he's got to beat out Lee McNeil and DJ Reader, and he's the backup. So he'll be the backups to these guys. And same with Levi Enrique, but Levi's doing better right now, so he may not get that many snaps. Hutchinson is a third-year player. What should we expect from him this year? Ceiling 15 sacks. He's working on his moves. He's working on his spin move. That's what helped him in the playoffs. And I say 15 snaps, he takes that next step. He is in that now elite category. I think that's what he does this year because he's going to have help, too, finally, on the defensive line. Do you believe Matthew Betts makes the 53-man roster? I'm going to take a guess here. Yes, I think he makes the roster. He's going to be one of the end ones, but I do think he's going to make the roster because we need help at the edge position. We need somebody's got to stand out, and I figure he'll be the one to do it. What do you think about Amik Robertson's press conference? Didn't watch the press conference. Sorry about that. But that's the questions for right now. Appreciate everybody answering those questions. Make sure you hit that sub button, subscribe, and all of that. With that said, with this question segment, we are done. We're still continue on right now. That was recorded, folks. That was recorded. That will be on a video for tomorrow. So lucky you. That's what you'll see your video, but not for tomorrow, but for another day. So that was a video recorded segment, so you're going to be on a video. those people that just asked me those questions for that segment, and we're continuing on now without being recorded here. So let me go to this one here. What do you think is our weakest position? Weakest position, I think, for the Detroit Lions. It's the same, right? Edge, kicker. I'm not at this point right now. Cornerback's not a weak position. We just don't know who's going to be the starters. They're battling it out in OTAs. They battled it out in minicamp. It's great coverage that we're seeing. Cornerback no longer is a weakness for us, so I'm going to say it's defensive edge and kicker. That would be it. Because kicker right now, we missed a couple kicks yesterday with Turner and Badgley. So I'm going to go with those two positions. I'm not Brandon Katz. I have now removed interior defensive line as a weakness, and I'm going to tell you why I did that, because what we're hearing about Levi and Uzurike, he's been absolutely standing out. He's taken that jump. That's what it sounds like right now. He's taken that jump we've been waiting for, and it's occurring right now. Broderick Martin is gotten complete in transformation with his body. Mackay, Wingo, I think is a good piece, and then you got DJ Reed and Lee McNeil. I no longer am going to say that defensive tackle is a weakness. I think it's pretty good. Because if Levi continues to do what he's doing, that is a big upgrade. It's huge. These guys, that second or that third year leap or fourth year leap, he's taking that leap, it looks like right now. That is good news. Somebody had to. So edge right now with Marcus Davenport, with Matthew Betts, with Joshua Pascal. Who is going to step up? We don't know. We just don't know at this point. That is the biggest question. And kicker, because at least in OTAs and minicamp, you can see kicks, right? They're kicking the ball, so it's like, okay, you know what they need to work on right there. It's tangible, but with the defensive line, it's not tangible because they're in pajamas. There's no tangible to it. So that is the biggest problem. How badly do we need the third wide receiver? I think we could use here, and from what I'm hearing, look, Antoine Green stepped up a little bit in the battles raging on with Khalif and Donovan Peoples-Jones. But we are seeing a little bit of struggles with the offense. The Lions could get another wide receiver, right? They could. I think they're trying to see if Antoine Green can come up there and fill that up for number 6. Because Antoine Green's made some plays in minicamp. So for this position, I would wait a little bit into training camp. If no one is still standing out, okay, wait for the 53 to get cut. I'm sure Robert Woods will get cut from the Texans. Somebody's going to get cut, right, that they could pick up. There's no need right now to make a trade. There's no need right now to worry about it because we're talking about a wide receiver 6. One of these guys is going to step up into 3, Khalif or Donovan Peoples-Jones. One of them will. So now we're just looking for another guy. That is something that we can wait on. We're not pressured to do it. Let these guys fight. See if someone can emerge in training camp. And Isaiah Williams and Antoine Green are doing that right now. So give those guys, in my opinion, give these guys the reps right now. They have the ability to see if one of these guys can step up. And if one does, right, another draft pick that worked out great with Antoine Green or something like that. So that's the way that we got to do it here in Detroit. So there's a little concern. This roster here is the best roster in football, in my opinion. Okay, so when I'm saying they could get a better player, understand I'm saying this to the best roster in football, in my opinion. So this roster is dang good, right? So that is what we're talking about right here. So I think they could. I don't think they need to, Darren. What's up, Darren? In the building, man. Appreciate you coming in here, brother. Sorry I've been on the Vox a lot. I've been doing work and, spending time with family, a lot of family. As you know, folks, and I got to tell you all this, especially as content creators, I'm going to tell you behind the scenes and how it operates as a YouTuber, a content creator, when we're in this spot, the lull period. We're all in it. Every one of us, every single one you talk to, we're all in the same position. We get exhausted and tired. We take time away from football generally in this period because we talk Dern, I talk to Dern, I talk to TA, we talk every day. The content creators talk every day. We take this time period to talk a lot less because we spend time with family, as when the NFL season ramps up, we got no time. So that's what a lot of us are doing. So don't take offense to it if you're not getting the best videos in the world from content creators right now that you listen to and best shows, because this is what we're all doing right now, because that's just how it is. So it's almost like content creation is almost like high school where you get your summer break, okay, like a teacher. So we ramp it down quite a bit in the summer, and then it comes back up crazy amount. Right now we're in the relax, spend time with family period as much as we can as the season's about to ramp up, and then it gets a lot worse. So I did not see Brad adding any more significant until the end of training camp. What do you think, Lisa? We're on the same page. Lisa, we're always on the same page. We literally have the exact same thoughts. I talked to you on Facebook. I've seen your thoughts in here. We rarely disagree, and I'm with you again 110%. You see things exactly the way that I do pretty much when it comes to Lions. With you right there. You can always upgrade, but let these guys battle it out, because that's what, no one expect Iffy to blow up like he did last year. Iffy's jump went from being is this guy even going to make the roster? Okay, that we're debating this. That's how bad it was. To he was one of the best safeties in football at the end of the year. The last 5 games, regular season games, 4 games, and then the playoffs, Ofutu Melifonwu was looking like an all-pro safety. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And no one expected that jump. No one did. Then Derek Barnes did the 3rd-year jump. So you see these jumps, and we're in a fan base, right? We're a Lions fan base. We're not used to development. And so we're like, we got to get this, we got to get this. But Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they're sitting back and they're like, look, fan base, we got you. We drafted Antoine Green last year to develop, to replace. We did this to replace. These guys can step up. These players on this defensive line could step up, and if they do, right, I think we're the best roster in football. It's going to be very hard to compete with. So you can upgrade, but it's not the end of the world. Yep, my problem, man, health, family always come first. Time and patience, it is extremely rare into the world of football. And what I love is when they did this rebuild, they did it the absolute correct way. That is something that we have never done in Detroit. They did a full-on, they tore the house to the studs. This was a complete renovation. And they completely renovated it, and they've told the fans, be patient. That's why they did a 6-year contract with Dan Campbell. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are now stuck at the hip with these giant contracts. They knew this is a multi-year process. But if you do it the correct way, you'll have sustained success. We just got to grind it out the first couple of years. And when you grind it out, you stay with us. And just like Jared Goff said, the gut punches will stop. And they have stopped. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done it. They have stopped the gut punches. And now we're seeing development of players in mid to late rounds who are significant contributors for the Lions and becoming one of the best players in football. You look at all the players under 25, the way that they have played as of late, is just mind-boggling. I've never seen anything like this. Penei Sewell, right? Outstanding young player. St. Brown, young player. Aleem McNeil, young player. Ofutu Melifonwu, young player. Derek Barnes, young player. Brian Branch, young player. And now Jamison Williams is stepping up, and he is looking good. He looked good at the end of the year into the playoffs and now into OTAs and minicamp. He's stepping up. And a lot of people said, J-Mo, bust. I said, calm down. Relax. Let him develop. And they were correct. He developed. Patience. And I preach, if you're a fan of a fan base, that they're trying to do the same thing to your team. Be patient with development. Do not get rid of a player if you feel that they could develop at a year 3, because we've seen that. If we would have released Melifonwu last year, we wouldn't have got to where we were at in the NFC Championship game, because he was a significant contributor to the last 4 games of the regular season and the playoffs. Vildor came in, was a contributor, even though he wasn't the best in the world, but he made a huge difference. So we have to be patient with players. It is a good thing. And it's absolutely amazing to watch how this is occurring. Folks, we've been on for an hour. I do got to prep to get ready to go to the radio station. So I'm going to go ahead and probably close this a little bit early because of that. And I got to upload a video for Saturday. With that said, folks, adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be.